Okay, so hello everyone. So I was just playing the tuning forks, the C and the G tuning forks, and that creates what is called a perfect fifth. A fifth is just the distance between the two notes, C, D, E, F, G, and so there's a distance of 5. And so the fifth is a very powerful interval, and so it's antibacterial, antiviral. It enhances your immune system. It stimulates nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what your body uses. It helps the body to heal and detoxify. And then it's also good for depression. And also I included a major third in the middle. I was singing that with overtone singing. And so the C major triad, so the C, E, G, that's the C chord if you play music. And the C chord is really good for balancing extremes, and it is good for relaxation. So I hope you got something out of it. And then I'd like to just bring in the lesson that I'm working on today, A Course in Miracles, Lesson 8. And this one is, My Mind is Preoccupied with Past Thoughts. And this is an amazing lesson because it talks about the idea that the past doesn't exist. And, well, it doesn't talk about this either, but later in the book it does. The future doesn't exist either. The only thing that exists is right now, this moment. And so when we think about past things, we are projecting into the past. And we think we're thinking about something, but according to the lesson, your mind is blank. You're not thinking about anything. It's blank. And so this lesson is all about being aware of what your thoughts are. So are you thinking about something in the past? Are you thinking about worrying about something in the future? And it's just being aware of it throughout the day. And the way that they implement it is you say to yourself, you close your eyes, think for a little bit, and be aware of whatever thoughts are coming into your mind. And don't judge them, of course, but be aware. And then say to yourself, I seem to be thinking about the name or the object or the emotion, but my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. So it's just making you aware that you are looking into the past, you're projecting, and you're not in this moment, because this is the moment of pure love and pure peace, and just being one with everyone. And what more could you want, right? And then one thing, at the end of the Manual for Teachers in the Course in Miracles, I was reading through it, and I thought this kind of sums up the whole book. So if anyone asks, what is the Course in Miracles? And I think this is the answer I would give. Forgiveness is the final goal of the curriculum. It paves the way for what goes far beyond all learning. The curriculum makes no effort to extend its legitimate goal. Forgiveness is its single aim at which all learning ultimately converges. It is indeed enough. So I would say that the book is all about teaching you how to forgive yourself and forgive others. Now, that a lot of people who study the book might say that might be a little bit too simplified, and maybe it is. But that might be the answer I would give now. And so then I'd like to just... one other thing I wanted to talk about is... I always found this very interesting, and I thought maybe other people felt this way too. I've always been considered like a space cadet, or some people think of me as an alien, because I'm always kind of floating. Like wherever I go, I don't quite fit in for some reason, and I'm always just kind of like, I feel like I'm just floating in every situation. And but then I find that there are other people that are right on with whatever's going on. They are like, I find them to be like masters of the third dimension, and I haven't quite mastered it. I've tried, but I just don't seem to, can't figure it out. And But so people who are always like, they know what the next thing is, and they're right on top of the next thing, and this is what's popular, and this is what's going on, and I'm just always kind of out in space floating around like, oh, that's interesting, and it takes me like about 5 years to figure out, oh, that's what was happening here. Oh. So I always find that very interesting. And so I'm rambling a bit, but what I wanted to say about that is, so there is mastering the third dimension, and there are space cadets like myself, I guess two extremes, but there's another thing that I find interesting too sometimes, is how things for me move very, very fast. Like when I see things, of course in the news, right? Everything seems to move very fast. And I find that a lot of people seem to be able to understand it very quickly. They just pick up on it. But for me, I always have like a question mark. Like, how did this happen? This does not seem organic. And I think that's what's becoming more and more prevalent, I guess, is that the more aware you are of your thoughts and the way that the news can manipulate your thoughts, you start to be aware of when things become a little bit less organic. And yeah, so I think that's what I'm trying to say. A lot of what I'm seeing recently in the news, it doesn't seem very organic. It just came out of left field, but then all of a sudden everyone's just, they're on the boat with it. They're like, yes, exactly, this is what's always been going on. And it reminds me of 1984, the book, where they had been at war with this one country, and then the next day they were at war with this other country, and then when the main character said, no, but we were at war with this other country yesterday, and they said, no, we have always been at war with this country. So something about that. Yeah. There you go. Yep. What a ramble, right? I've gone way out, span out into space here. Being a space cadet, that is what I'm that is the only thing I can do, I guess. So anyway, I'll call in my guides and see if they have anything to add or to subtract, multiply. Here you go. Greetings, we are the Hathors, and it is wonderful to be with all of you. It's always wonderful to be with you, and it's wonderful to be able to talk to you and to be able to be in the same place with you and to be able to talk to so many of it. It is a wonderful, wonderful experience, and we're very happy. We're very happy that this being has finally gotten to the point where he is able to do this in front of people. We are very, very proud of him. It was a very difficult thing for him to do, and he is still working through a lot of the issues that are involved with what it is he is doing, and we are very proud of him. Now, yes, on your world, things are moving very, very fast. And some of this is, you might say, inorganic, and some of it is organic. You are going through a very, very intense period of time where time is actually sped up. So as this channel before you was saying, some of it, yes, is inorganic, but a lot of it is organic. There are a lot of things happening. There are many, many wheels turning at the same time. There are many things happening behind the scenes there. But all you need to understand is that, just as this being said, forgiveness is the key. All you need to know is to listen to your heart and find out where it is telling you to go. That is your only, might we say, that is the only thing that you really need to do. If you really need to know what you really need to do. If you had asked us, we would tell you that you just need to follow your heart through all of this. And so when you follow your heart, you can see with your discernment, you can see through whether something is organic or inorganic, whether something seems to be happening too fast and it seems like it was all choreographed, or if something is more organic. And you will be able to discern this as you become more and more aware of your thoughts. And this is a very, very important time for all of you to start reclaiming your thoughts, understanding your thoughts, being aware of your thoughts. Are those thoughts my thoughts, or are those thoughts someone else's thoughts? You remember that you are all antennas, you are radios, and you're picking up on so much information. Not just the information that you see maybe on the TV, or maybe you hear on a radio or on your computer. A lot of the times it's just in the ether and you're picking it up. And so be aware of what those thoughts are. And so also be aware of the emotions. Be aware of your emotions. Why am I feeling a certain way? Is this my emotion, or am I just picking up on something? And the last thing I would like to say is, do not judge. Do not judge these emotions, or do not judge these thoughts. Accept them and let them flow in and flow out. And understand where you begin and where you end. And also, another important part of this is that you are all one. And the idea is that you never end and you never begin. But this is a process that, in order to get to the point where you understand that you're all one, it is important to just understand where these emotions come from, and where these feelings and where these thoughts come from. So this being is doing this Course in Miracles, and the Course in Miracles is a wonderful method, one of many different methods, in order for you to become aware of what is in your mind, aware of where your thoughts are coming from, and to be able to be in control and to be a sovereign citizen of this planet. To not be controlled by anything or anyone, and to be able to understand where your thoughts are coming from, is one of the most powerful things that you can do at this moment on your planet. Okay, so thanks everyone. Ciao.